Hi, YouTube family and podcast family. Today I want to talk about a crime story I saw recently. And if you know me and you've watched some of my videos on this channel, you'll know that I am an avid crime story watcher. When I see an example of narcissistic behavior, I want to show it so that people can recognize it for themselves and relate to their own experience. So in this story, it is about Patricia Burns and Clifford Burns. I'm going to include a link to the crime story in the description so you can watch the entire episode. But in this story, you will see that Clifford just loses his freaking mind in a fit of rage. And he didn't just have one fit of rage. He had multiple. And it seemed to be a continual thing that began pretty much right away. And probably, I would say it might have started, and I'm guessing it probably did start before they got married. But she probably made excuses for him because she felt like she's a fixer and she can help him. And, you know, there were so many other good things about him that she wanted to focus on. So she allowed for the horrid behavior to continue and thinking that, you know, eventually it'll stop or it'll get better. But you guys, it just does not get better with a narcissist. And we have to be aware of that and protect ourselves.
At first, Cliff to his friends, seemed like a great catch. He owned his own business. He was an avid fisherman and a die-hard Mets fan.
So right there, you know, that was the problem. He was a die-hard Mets fan. No, I'm just kidding, you guys. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make light of their story. I'm just joking around about, you know, some of the good characteristics that he had. So when we first meet an abusive person, we don't know that they're abusive. They seem normal. They have normal hobbies and likes and dislikes, and we might get along. We might have the same hobbies. We might have the same, you know, share a lot of the same things. And so we think, oh, this could be a really good match for me. And, you know, he seemed to be good to her two daughters. You know, she had two daughters coming into their relationship, and then they had two more. So 4 daughters in all. And you will get to know them through the story. And the older daughters already started talking about how, you know, they already had seen the abuse from the get-go.
At what point did you witness any physical violence?
Right after they got married, he just started pushing her and slapping her.
I remember my dad beating my mom's face and like on top of her, us standing there and like being helpless.
I think a lot of times people stay in an abusive relationship because they think that they're protecting their children or they're giving their children a stable home or something like this. But the kids know. The kids are watching this and they're devastated. They're crushed. And this is not a good home for kids. In fact, Cliff was the one who was raised in such a home where he watched his father beat his wife, beat his mother, and then eventually ended up shooting Clifford's mother in the arm. So this, again, is a repeat of history, right? This is not what relationships are supposed to be about. And then it goes on to say, you know, the story where Patricia, something finally pushed her over the edge to leave, and it was the death of one of her older daughters, who just suddenly, mysteriously passed away in her sleep, and the coroner never solved that mystery.
I think Chris passing really gave her the strength to want to leave Cliff. This is your life. This is all you have. You know, you got to make the best of it.
Sadly, it took something as big as the death of one of her children to wake her up to what life is about and how precious life is. That, you know, there are good things and bad things in this world, and there are good people and bad people. And if you end up with a bad person, you don't have to stay. You don't have to continue to take the abuse, because life is not about continually taking the abuse from somebody else in order to help them. This is not helping them. And I think she finally realized that, you know, she can't be putting herself through this anymore and putting the other 3 daughters through this anymore. But unfortunately, one of the younger daughters, I think she was the second to youngest, the oldest of the 2 that they had together, decided that she was going to stay with the father, with Cliff. And she thought because she didn't really want to go to the new school, she would just stay with her dad.
But Harley would soon learn, without Patricia around to feel the brunt of his anger, she would become his target.
The horrible thing about narcissists is that they act like they love the people in their life, you know, their family, their kids, possibly. You think that they love them, but they don't love them as if they're individuals apart from the narcissist themselves. They love them as if they were an extension of the narcissist. So the abusive person, they have no problems at all taking out abuse on their family members or people they supposedly love, because they just can't see this person as separate from them, not even their own children that they supposedly care about. And you're going to see in an interview, or a snippet of his interview with the police later on, how he behaved about his wife, how in one moment he was protective of her, and then another moment, you know, he's talking about how she deserved what he gave to her. And it was horrible just how narcissists see their supply.
When he got violent, he would like black out and there's no stopping.
This is the blind rage that a narcissist will unleash on his loved ones, if you will. They cannot distinguish where they end and their loved ones begin, or their supply begins. They will unleash unimaginable pain and violence and anger upon whoever is in front of them. So that's why Patricia finally left. You know, she got her kids away. All the remaining 3 daughters went with her, and 8 months passes by before they hear from him. And when they hear from him, it's close to Christmas time. I think one of the daughters sent him a text saying, Merry Christmas, Dad, and just want to wish you a Merry Christmas or something like that. And then he sends back a reply, and this is what was in his text.
What did the message say?
I have a special gift for all of you. I hope that you're all there to see it.
Coming from most people, a message like that doesn't sound so terrible, right? But the daughter knows and senses something is really terribly wrong here, because she knows her father. She has seen the fits of rage. She had seen the violence come out of him. But unfortunately, Patricia, the mother, she downplays it. She doesn't realize what her ex-husband is capable of, because oftentimes the victim of the abuse will still think that the abuser will not go beyond a certain step, beyond a certain stage or amount of abuse. They just can't see it. But those around them, we can see it. You know, the daughters, they all could see that, Mom, this is not good. And this is the response that Patricia had when her daughter brought it up to her.
I was like, is he gonna come up here and kill us? And she goes, Megan, no, Megan, he's mean, but he's evil, but he's not that evil.
So she's aware that he is evil and that he is capable of evil, because she has taken the brunt of his violence, his rages, right? But she doesn't realize that he's capable of even far worse than that. I mean, she left him. That's how she was able to end the violence. And she forgot that that's what ended the violence, not him. He didn't stop himself. And sadly enough, on Christmas Eve, he comes to her and he unleashes on her violence beyond what she ever could have imagined. And the reason that those who have been victimized by abusers like this don't understand that the abuser can get that far is because they think about the good times that they had with the abuser. They think about the kindness and love and joy that they shared with them that makes them seem human. But sadly enough, this is what happened on Christmas Eve.
911, where's your emergency?
My mom's bleeding out on the floor. My dad just came in and they stabbed her and she's bleeding out.
I saw that she was kicking him, and she was like, Cliff, please don't. I love you. You don't have to do this. She was like pleading.
That was their youngest daughter on the 911 call. And their older daughter, you just saw in the interview there describing what she saw. He also had attacked the older daughter and stabbed her in the arms. She got out of the apartment and was yelling, and the people from a nearby restaurant heard her and came out. So that spooked him and he ran off. But he would have finished her off as well. And it looked like he would have killed all 3 of his daughters if they were all there and if the bystanders hadn't come anywhere close to them. But coming up, you're going to see an interview where he talks to the police after they bring him in. He describes what he intended to do to her because he tried to tell the police he wasn't going to kill her. He was just going to carve her up. It was just disgusting and horrible. But he came to her with a hunting knife, dressed in camo and wearing a ski mask.
I was going to just cut her from the ear up, chop her hair off. That's what I wanted to do to her face. Right up with a knife.
This is the insanity of a narcissist. They cannot see that what they wanted to do is horrid. He says he was just going to carve her up. He was just going to cut her like this. That's insanity. Like, what do you mean just? You mean compared to like outright killing her? Like, that's so much better, I guess. That's acceptable. I mean, a narcissist does not see the trauma that they cause, how unacceptable, how horrid, how violent, how criminal it is. But then another thing that a narcissist does is they'll rage against other people doing something similar and even maybe not as bad as what they had done. So after she had divorced him, she had a boyfriend. And this boyfriend, his name was Ted. He assaulted her and shot a gun, I guess, at the ceiling. And he got arrested and charged for that type of an assault. But during the police interrogation, Clifford reacts to this boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend that had been a part of her life and assaulted her, as if he's outraged that her boyfriend would assault her and put his children at risk, the same children that he was stabbing in the arm, and the same children he was going to also kill along with his ex-wife.
Beat my old lady up, put her in the hospital. My kid was home.
This is a psycho narcissist, where this picture here is the boyfriend, and the ex-husband is upset that the ex-boyfriend had put his ex-wife in the hospital, and yet it's the ex-husband who kills her and attempts to kill his own children, but is mad at the ex-boyfriend for possibly putting his children in harm's way. Now, in this next clip, he also is going to rage, but this time against the police officers that he discovers have been the ones who arrested the ex-boyfriend, because he felt that these police officers let the ex-boyfriend off too easy. So again, he just rages against them without realizing that's ridiculous.
You were involved with it, you sit down.
Narcissists are not grounded in reality. They see themselves as this hero and victim. Remember, if you've seen any of my videos, you'll know this. They see themselves as a hero and a victim, and everybody else is wrong, but they are right. And they can do whatever or commit whatever abuse they want on other people, but nobody else can abuse those people because the narcissist believes they own those people. So his ex-wife belongs to him. Now, this next clip, you're going to see him tell the officers how he was being a man in the way he handled how he killed his wife. This is horrid. This is so sickening. But he was trying to tell them like, oh, yeah, I could have made it a lot worse than this. But I was a man and I handled it like a man. So, just complete disregard for reality.
Lucky I'm in my right mind because I was going to have a shootout with you. But I did it the right way. I handled it like a man, so thank you.
I believe he was trying to say, you're welcome, as in they should be thanking him for not having a shootout after he tried murdering his whole family and involved them too and killed them as well. So, they should thank him for that. That's total insanity, right? Like they would be like, oh yeah, we so appreciate you not taking it out on us. No, a narcissist has no clue what they just did, what crime they just committed, what horrendous evil they just unleashed. They don't even see it for themselves. This guy saw himself as a victim of the system where he was paying $250 a month for child support, but couldn't see his kids because His ex-wife had a restraining order on him. But why does she have a restraining order? Because he was violently abusive and dangerous.
What do you think the motive was in all of this?
The motive is anger. The motive is control.
He was not apologetic for anything that he'd done that night. And he was not apologetic when he got sentenced.
No, narcissists are not apologetic because they think that they're the victim. Even though they're the ones who committed the murder, they'll claim that they were the victim. Even if they destroy another person, they'll consider themselves the victim. Not the people that they victimize, not the people they abuse, not the people they terrorize, not the people they murder. I mean, it's just insane that they can continue to consider themselves the victim. They will not take responsibility for themselves, for their actions. They won't acknowledge that they didn't have to respond in that way. They could have gotten help. He could have tried to get help for his anger so he wouldn't unleash it on his wife. And they could have stayed married. They could have had a good life. They could have raised a beautiful family together. But this is not how it is for narcissists. It is so dangerous to stay with them. It is so dangerous to allow them back in. And it is very dangerous not to watch for the red flags. You have to protect yourself. And you have to listen to those who are close to you, who have seen the abuse. They know what these narcissists, or most of the time, or some of the times, I guess, if they are warning you that this could get really bad, heed that warning. But you guys, if you are away from a narcissist, know that you're lucky. I know a lot of people look back and think, well, it wouldn't have ever gotten that bad. It couldn't have gotten that bad. But with narcissists, you never can tell. But you guys, I wish you so much healing. I wish you so much love and wholeness. And if you liked this video at all, or this has helped you at all, please subscribe and like and comment below and share this. So blessings to you guys, and I will talk to you soon.